Obviously we have gone through a little bit of spell of injuries and stuff like that. So I think just a little bit disconnected, you know, on both sides of the ball, really. And, we're trying to fight through it. We're trying to find ways. And you can tell that the guys care and the guys, they want to do the right thing. And it just doesn't feel as fluid right now as maybe it has in different parts of the year. That's why you have a long season. You try to put yourself in a position to be in playoffs at the end of the season, and based on the results tonight, we're in a position where we have a chance to be in the playoffs, or at least the play-in game at the very least. So that's no, we're not satisfied. We're not content with that by any means. But the fact of the matter is, to go through the season and to have a lot of things happen, to be in this position right now. With everything that we want to accomplish in terms of playing for an MLS Cup at the end of the year, that's still in place. So, two more regular season games, guys getting back healthy and whatnot. And we'll go down to Orlando and, put in a better performance, hopefully, than we put in today. And, start gaining some confidence going into the end of the season in the playoffs.
Wilfred mentioned having you out there today was he wanted to see a different connection, specifically defensively. Can you talk about what you kind of could bring to kind of help that disconnect that you were talking about specifically to the back line?
Uh, yeah, I think from my standpoint, I try to be the same guy in terms of whether it's on the training field or on the game field, whatever it is. And what that means is, I try to bring a dimension and a level of communication that maybe in different moments, my experience can help with that. And I've played in a lot of these types of games. I've been in playoff races and stuff like that throughout the course of my career, and sometimes just trying to spark something different with different types of players on the field, can be a benefit. So I just try to do what's asked of me and try to be who I am. And um, you know, ideally that's to bring energy to players and to bring confidence in communicating where runners are and stuff like that. When you get down a goal, the game changes a little bit, the game gets spread out, and it's a very dangerous team. Chicago's a good team. It's a team now that looks very different than at the start of the year, and they got some very dangerous pieces in transition. So, it was a difficult game. It's a good team that we played against, regardless of where they are in the standings right now, because they're firing on all cylinders right now. So we need to take that into context and take that, have a certain perspective about that in terms of who we just played against and being on the road and those things. But like I said before, we're not content with any of that. We're a team that expects to come in and win games regardless of who we're playing against, who's on the field, all those things. So we'll get back to work on Monday because that's all we can do.
You mentioned the transition of Chicago. It looked very dangerous, especially in the first half. What was it like maintaining their transition, especially when it happened so close to those counterattacks happened so close to you?
Um, you know, what are you going to do? It's a team that was waiting for that. They had high energy, high pressing, and they're coming off of a very good win in Minnesota last week. So they had some momentum going, and they have high confidence. So we knew what kind of game we were in for tonight. To call them just a transition team would be doing them a disservice too, because they played well with the ball. Greg's got them playing really well. He's certainly put his imprint on this team. They brought in some pieces in the summer that are quite good. So they're more than a transition team, but they're certainly dangerous with guys like Bamba, Zinkernaga, Kuipers running at us. So to eliminate that and alleviate those types of moments, we need to be good with the ball. And we weren't necessarily clean with the ball, myself included, in different moments. So we just weren't as sharp as we otherwise could be tonight, and then we lent ourselves to being opened up in transition moments.
It sounded like from both you and Darlington, you guys didn't know about the result of the Red Bulls following the game. Is that correct?
I just saw it when I came in the locker room. So, yeah, like I said earlier, like I know where we are in terms of having an opportunity ahead of us. And it stings right now. And, some teams might celebrate the fact that they clinched a spot in the playoffs or play in whatever it is at this point, um, after a loss, but that's not where we are as a team in the club. Like we have higher expectations than that. And, we're going to fight, these next two games to improve our positioning and go into the playoffs and, in a solid note. And once you get in, you never know. I think Red Bulls, I'm not sure what position they were in when they went into the playoffs last year, but what position were they?
7.
Seven? Yeah. So, I mean, it's this conference this year has been very tough. So I think one year in Montreal we finished on 51 points and we finished third in the conference. So that's not to say that again, like we're not happy with where we are, but we also know that this conference is you can be anywhere from second to ninth right now, and all the teams are very difficult. So we're going to put ourselves in a position to fight once we get in the playoffs.
Thank you for taking the time, Evan.
Great. Thanks, Brianna.
Hi, Darlington. It felt like you guys beginning of the game, you guys had a bit of possession, but very quickly it felt like you guys lost it and continued to lose it throughout the first half. You guys didn't get a shot off and were making uncharacteristic turnovers. Just what was going wrong in the first half that didn't let you build anything?
No, I just think we lack some sharpness. I think that was the sharpness in the build up, sharpness in the attack and defensively, just overall we lack sharpness, but definitely something to improve on and we'll improve on it.
I know some sharpness has been something multiple of you guys have talked about late in the season. How do you guys fix this so late in the season? What needs to change to get this sparkness for the last 2 games of the season?
I think it's tough, we've had success for the past 2 years, 2.5 years, or whatever it's been. So when you have success, opponent plays you a certain way. So I think it's up to us to adjust. And how we adjust, it's up to us. We gotta look at the tape, look at the game, and see what we can do better. But yeah, and then I think it's problems that we caused for ourselves. Way that we've played, success we've had, and the way opponents look at us. So everyone's up to play against us. So we have to be up for that challenge and just find a way to evolve and just be better individually and collectively.
What's your message to, obviously, as one of the leaders in that locker room, what is your message to the team after a game like this where it felt like a lot of areas you just struggled in?
No, just look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. Not time to point fingers, not time to look at everything else or the results, whatever it is. Just look in the mirror and see what you can do better to improve yourself and bring that to the team.
And how do you kind of react the same night you had a 2-0 loss, you clinched the playoffs? How do you kind of just react to that?
Can you repeat that, please?
Just the day you guys lose tonight, but you also clinch a playoff spot. What's the reaction to that, doing that on the same night?
I just found that out, so I have no reaction right now. I didn't see the other results yet. Yeah, I mean, we expect to be in the playoffs, so I don't think it's anything, Right now, just looking at how we can be better and perform better. And I think it's a disappointment. No one's thinking about the playoffs right now. We're thinking about how can we improve as a team, individually and collectively. How can we have performances that lead to wins? I think it's simple as that.
Thank you for taking time, Darlington.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brianna. We'll be right back.